Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can use Kubernetes with NextJS server actions. So let's get started. I'm using NextJS 16 which just has released recently. And for Kubernetes I'm not installed Minikube, but what I have done is that I have just enabled the Kubernetes option inside Docker desktop. I think behind the scene it might be using this Minikube. So here I'll just quickly show you the demo. Here you can see this is a server action. So here I have form with email as well as password field, and once I click on submit, here you can see we are navigating to the dashboard screen. That's how simple it is. Now first let me go through the code quickly. So if you see over here, here is our NextJS application, here is our src. Then here firstly you go to app, and here inside page.tsx, here I have added couple of things. So first I have added the use client directive. Then I have added this get token, which is from the action, from server action, and here we have action response as well as use action state. So here inside action response we just get a success value, so by default I have kept it as false. Then inside from form state, if you are sending some values from server action, you will get it inside form state. I'm not really using that, I'm just navigating to the dashboard screen. And here inside use action state we just pass the server action method name as well as the initial state. And here you can see I have created a form, assign the action to it. Here is one input for email, here is one input for password, and if it is pending then we just display the loading indicator, else we display a button of type submit. That's all there is to it. Now let's come, and if you see I have created another page for dashboard. So here nothing really, just a dev saying dashboard. Then you can just go to utils. Here you can see inside type.ts I have defined one for login form data and one for action response. And then I have defined actions as well, where we have auth.ts. Here we have added the use server directive, and then here I have just imported action response as well as login form data as well as redirect. Then here we have defined the get token method. Here I have added an artificial delay of 2 seconds because we are not really doing anything over here. So I'm just getting the email and password. So if the email and password is empty, then we just return as false. And here you can see I have so this is for password, okay, and at the end we are just redirecting to the dashboard screen. Now here I have also added checking this. I've purposefully added this because I wanted to add secrets as well for Kubernetes. So that's why I've added inside this .env file, I have added a name, key, and value is nobody. So that's what I'm checking. If it is not equal to nobody, then return as false. That's all I have done. Okay, then you just need to, for Docker, you just create a Docker ignore file where we are ignoring key8s and node modules. I'll come back to this key8s. This is mostly related to Kubernetes, so this is not by default available in NextJS. We have to build it from by self. So here is our node modules as well. Then inside our Docker file we just do from node :22-alpine as builder working directory /app, and here we just copy this package.json and log files, and then we just run npm install, and then we copy every other file inside our working directory of app. Then we run npm run build. Then again we get node :22-alpine, and here is our working directory, and here we do run add group, and here we just add this next user. Again, this is optional, you don't really have to do this, it's up to you. And then here we are just copying all the required files from our build folder to our working directory. And here environment I have set it as production. We are exposing port 3000, and here we are running our application. Now make sure you have already created your credentials on Docker Hub, because to use Kubernetes we need to push our image to Docker Hub. So I have already created it, and make sure you log in via Docker as well. Inside your terminal you just have to type docker space login and enter your credentials. So first to build our application we use something like this, docker build -t. So I'll just dismiss this. Okay, so here this is my username on Docker Hub. So make sure you replace Brave Evidence with your own username, and here you can give it whatever application you want. I've named it as NextApp 4 because NextApp 1, 2, 3, NextApp are already present on my Docker Hub. That's why I'm naming it as NextApp 4, and version I've given it as v1, and make sure you add this dot at the very end as well. Now this will take a bit of time, so let it do its thing. In the meantime, what I will do is just create a folder called k8s, okay, and inside that firstly you will create this secrets.yaml, okay. So here you can see API version is v1, kind is secret. This metadata name is very important because with the same name we will be referencing inside deployment.yaml as well, so be careful. And inside string data, so this is the key and this is the value. So whatever you have defined it inside your environment variables, make sure you write the same thing over here, okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is still running. In the meantime, you can go to create service.yaml as well. So API version is v1, kind is service, give it some name, and here inside spec selector app nextjs. Now this name should match with the label which we have defined inside deployment.yaml, so I'll show you shortly. And here ports I have defined it as 80, target port is 3000, protocol is TCP, and type is node port. Typically you should not use node port for production, but this is, I'll make a future videos on that as well, like what should a node port be replaced with, but for now node port is fine because we will be testing it locally only. So do this as well. So here you can see docker stuff is completed. So the next thing is I'll quickly run this, and here you can see while running this I'm fetching this .env file as well from our local setup, because the .env file is not shipped with docker, right? We are not copying that particular file, so that's why I'm doing it over here. So here you can see I can now easily go to localhost. So here I'm just checking whether my docker setup is correct or not. So here, sorry, I can just go to localhost /3000 and I can just click on submit, and it should redirect me to the dashboard. Here you can see a dashboard screen. Now we need to push our image to Docker Hub, right? So I'll just copy this and I'll just exit and I'll push it. Again, this should be your username. Instead of Brave Evidence, write your username, and this should be the same image name what you have used while building for the first command, right? So next come to deployment.yaml, and here again apps v1, kind deployment, metadata nextjs, given it some names, spec replicas I have kept it as one, selector match labels app nextjs. Now this and this should match, and it should match with what you have defined it over here, okay. So I have kept it same everywhere. Here we have defined the template, spec container name, and this is the image. So this image, again, this should be your own Docker Hub image name, and this is the name of the image which we have built using Docker, and container port is 3000, and here we are basically referencing the secrets from our secrets.yaml. Again, this is the name which I had written inside secrets.yaml, right? So that's what I'm referring over here. So let's see, it is still pushing. Let's just wait. In the meantime, once it has been pushed to apply Kubernetes, you just have to run kubectl apply-f k8s folder. So that's so whatever files are present inside the k8s folder, it will automatically apply the kubectl command for this. So let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, so okay, I'm getting a timeout error. I don't know why. Let me try to push it. Sometimes these things happen. Let's try to push it again. Okay, so now it has pushed. Like in previous one I got a timeout, so be careful with this. Then we can just run kubectl apply-f k8s, and then we can just copy this command and paste it over here. So this will give us the port, because we are using node port, that's why we require this. And then I can easily go to localhost, okay, and here I can just replace this with 30537, and if I click on submit, here you can see server action again working, and we are navigated to dashboard. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.